Are you looking for the best digital cameras? In this video we will look at some of the 7 best camera on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description, so make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Starting at number 1. Canon EOS R6 Mark II. The Canon EOS R6 Mark II is the best hybrid camera we've tested for enthusiasts. This camera is well built, has excellent ergonomics, and is well suited to a wide range of photo and video work. Its high-resolution full-frame sensor captures excellent image quality, with plenty of dynamic range to preserve detail and impressive noise handling in low light. The camera is also a video powerhouse, with uncropped 4K recording at up to 60 frames per second, internal 10-bit 4:2:2 color, and a very effective in-body image stabilization (IBIS) system. That said, Canon's RF lens ecosystem is still being built out, so there aren't as many native and third-party lens options as an alternative like the Sony Alpha 7 IV. The Sony is a fantastic option in its own right, with a higher resolution sensor, similar video specs, and a very reliable autofocus system. However, it has a slower max burst rate, particularly when shooting uncompressed RAW files, and doesn't support external RAW video output. You can't go wrong with either of these cameras, but the Canon has a slight edge for those reasons. At number 2. Panasonic Lumix S5 II. If you need a camera for advanced video work, the Panasonic Lumix S5 II offers incredible value for its price. It doesn't have features like RAW video output or internal ProRes support out of the box. You'll have to get the Panasonic Lumix S5 iX or purchase an upgrade key at additional cost for that. However, it's still a very capable video camera with plenty to offer for most shooters. That includes 6K open gate recording and oversampled 4K recording at up to 60 frames per second, plus a dedicated slow and quick mode for slow motion capture. The camera also has an excellent IBIS system, and its full-frame sensor is well suited to shooting in less controlled lighting conditions. If you need those more advanced features, the Fujifilm X-H2S is a fantastic alternative with an APS-C sensor. It's a video powerhouse that supports external RAW video recording and internal Apple ProRes codecs from the jump. The stacked design of its sensor also keeps rolling shutter distortion to a minimum, which is great for action video. That said, the X-H2S is pricier than the Panasonic and is likely overkill for most people. At number 3. Fujifilm X-T5. If the cameras above are out of your price range, the Fujifilm X-T5 is a fantastic choice at a lower price point. Though it uses an APS-C sensor, it's one of the highest resolution APS-C sensors on the market, at 40.2 megapixels, giving you stunningly detailed images and lots of leeway to crop in your photos if needed. With its portable design, dedicated exposure dials, and 3-way tilting screen, the X-T5's photography-first design is also great for street or travel photos. Though it's aimed primarily at photographers, the camera has some surprisingly impressive video specs, with internal 10-bit capture, log recording, and 4K video at up to 60 frames per second. If you don't need those features and would prefer a full-frame sensor, the Nikon Z6 II is another great choice at this price point. It's less portable, but its ergonomics and user interface are excellent. However, as mentioned, the X-T5's advanced video capabilities make it a more well-rounded choice at this price point. At number 4. Sony Alpha 6700. A long-awaited update to Sony's APS-C lineup, the Sony Alpha 6700 is one of the best mid-range cameras on the market. With advanced video specs that bring it up to today's standards, including 4K 120 frames per second capture, internal 10-bit 4:2:2 recording, and IBIS, it's a great choice for hybrid and video shooters. It's no slouch for photography, either, with a 26-megapixel backside illuminated APS-C sensor that captures stunning images with plenty of detail, dynamic range, and best-in-class autofocus. That said, the camera does have some limitations. If, for example, you need RAW video output, the Fujifilm X-S20 has you covered and also supports 6.2K open gate recording. However, 4K is capped at 60 frames per second, and its autofocus system is less reliable. Sports and wildlife shooters may also prefer the slightly pricier Canon EOS R7, which has better ergonomics and faster burst shooting but fewer native lens options. At number 5. Canon EOS R10. Canon is king when it comes to entry-level models, with a range of affordable, easy-to-use bodies at different price points. The best of these is the Canon EOS R10, which marries the familiar ergonomics and intuitive interface Canon is known for with a great APS-C sensor, some surprisingly advanced video specs, and one of the best autofocus systems you can find at this price point. The biggest drawback is that lens selection for Canon's RF mount is still quite limited, but if that isn't a deal breaker, there's plenty to love here. Alternatives with more established lens lineups include the Fujifilm X-S10 and the Sony Alpha 6400. The Fujifilm is one of the few cameras at this price point with IBIS, which can help you get smoother handheld shots, though its autofocus is much less reliable than that of the R10. Meanwhile, the Alpha 6400 is behind the times for video features and has a less intuitive user interface and ergonomics, but there are many native and third-party E-mount lenses to choose from. Its AF holds up quite well, too, and it's a little cheaper. At number 6. Canon EOS R50. If you're on a tighter budget, the Canon EOS R50 is one of the best value mirrorless cameras you can get, short of buying a camera secondhand. Like the Canon EOS R10, it features a simple interface and intuitive controls that are ideal for beginners. However, it has a more compact body. On top of that, it has a good autofocus system, though it's a simpler version of the AF found on the R10 and has good video features for the price. Ultimately, it shares a lot in common with the older Canon EOS M50 Mark II, but as part of Canon's RF system, it's compatible with both APS-C and full-frame lenses. Though overall lens options are still limited, that makes it a great choice if you see yourself upgrading to a full-frame body down the line. Otherwise, the M52 is still a great deal. The Olympus OND EM10 Mark IV is another good alternative if you want something even more compact. It's part of the Micro Four Thirds system, so it makes for a more portable overall kit and even includes IBIS, but its autofocus isn't as reliable for fast-moving subjects. At number 7. Canon EOS Rebel T7. You could argue smartphones have replaced truly cheap interchangeable lens cameras, but the Canon EOS Rebel T7/EOS 2000D is one of the most affordable interchangeable lens cameras you can still buy brand new. At this price point, you won't find top-notch build quality or many extra features. The T7 doesn't even have a flip-out touchscreen. But if you want to get a feel for photography beyond pointing your phone and tapping a screen, this camera will get you there without having to spend a fortune. While this is a very pared-down camera, it still features a great sensor capable of capturing excellent photos, especially when paired with a good lens. On that front, if you outgrow the kit lens, you'll have plenty of options within Canon's well-established EF/EFS ecosystem, which includes quite a few affordable options. For a mirrorless alternative, the Canon EOS R100 is a solid, cheap option with a similarly pared-down design. There are fewer lens options, so we prefer the Rebel T7, but the R100 may be an attractive alternative if you want something more portable.